Catalonia is an autonomous community of Spain, designated as a nationality by its Statute of Autonomy from the 1970s. Catalonia is not, strictly speaking, a state, it's a nationality, and it still is a part of Spain. But for how long? Catalonia is an autonomous region and enjoys many advantages of self-government. The Catalan system of self-government is called Generalitat de Catalunya. It consists of the government, local government, or govern, and the local parliament. There are over 6 million Catalans, men and women, but the Catalan language is a little bit more spread than that. About 7 million people speaks Catalan language. Not just in Catalonia, but also in France and Italy, for instance. Reportedly, all inhabitants of Catalonia speak Spanish, but also about 75% speak Catalan language. Catalans usually perceive themselves as a separate nation. The somewhat stubborn but hard-working donkey is more Catalan than a proud but also lazy Spanish bull. Catalonia is divided into provinces, but many Catalan organizations are arranged not according to those. The region gradually achieved a greater degree of autonomy since 1979. After Navarre and Basque Country regions, Catalonia has the greatest level of self-government in Spain. The Generalitat holds exclusive and wide jurisdiction in various matters of culture, environment, communications, transportation, commerce, public safety and local governments. In many aspects relating to education, health and justice, the region shares jurisdiction with the Spanish government. One of the examples of Catalonia's degree of autonomy is in its own police force, the Mossos d'Esquadra, which is currently taking over most of the police functions in Catalonia, which used to be served by the Guardia Civil and the Policía Nacional. With few exceptions, most of the justice system is administered by national jurisdictional institutions. The legal system is uniform throughout the Spanish state, with the exception of so-called civil law. This is administered separately within Catalonia, as another institution stemming from the Generalitat, but independent from its check and balance functions. That there is a syndic de Gregs, an ombudsman, to address problems that may arise between private citizens or organizations and the Generalitat or local governments. As an autonomous community of Spain, Catalonia is not recognized as a sovereign state by any sovereign state. However, as Catalonia has progressively gained a greater degree of self-government in recent years, the Catalan government has established nearly bilateral relationships with foreign bodies, but not with governments, but with other autonomous regions like Quebec or California. In addition, like most Spanish autonomous communities, Catalonia has permanent delegations before international organizations, such as the European Union. Altogether, Catalonia has over 40 representative offices worldwide. Most of these offices are located in major world cities like London, New York, Los Angeles, Paris, Tokyo, and others. Each office has specific duties assigned by the ministry or department agency. Generally, the functions of these are the representations of specific interests of the government of Catalonia, of trade and foreign investment, Catalan culture and language support, tourist promotion, international cooperation, etc. The Catalan politics is dominated by two major personalities: Artur Mas y Gavarro, who is a Catalan politician of the center-right, and he is also the president of the Generalitat, and Oriol Junqueras y Vies, who is a Spanish historian and politician. He also represents the Republican left of Catalonia. They both represent the soberanista way, and they both promote the Catalan way to independence, but they not usually do it in very open manner. There have already been in the recent years several demonstrations and several pro-independence referendums, but local ones in Catalonia. On January 2014, the Catalan government have decided that the people of Catalonia has the power and the right to establish its future. In May 2014, the Constitutional Court of Spain has suspended this purely political declaration. On December 2013, the government of Catalonia announced that the deal between Catalan parties had set the date and wording for the referendum on independence. The date would be November the 9th, 2014, and that it will contain a question with two sections. Do you want Catalonia to become a state? And in case of an affirmative response, do you want this state to be independent? And obviously the Spanish government in Madrid has realized that, and the Spanish Constitutional Tribunal declared this referendum to be unconstitutional. I was able to observe the rise of Catalan separatism, which is very visible on the streets of Barcelona, Girona and other Catalan cities. For instance, here we have several posters that suggest that independence is very close to such values as dignity, liberty. On the square of Barcelona, which is named after the Spanish King Juan Carlos, we can see some example of constructive vandalism. The small script goes: we have decided that we are a nation. In one of the main squares in Barcelona, just between the buildings of the Generalitat and the Barcelona Town Hall, we can see a giant clock that counts the seconds and minutes and days left to the established date of a referendum. But we cannot be sure if this referendum is really established or not. The last decision of the Spanish Constitutional Tribunal has caused massive protests in Catalan cities, and I was able to witness one of those in a small town of Platia d'Aro. I've asked one of the present separatists why he is for independence and how does he think the chances for independence are. He is a local historian and pro-independence activist.
Please explain me why you are for independence.
I'd like to explain you that we have
language questions, culture questions. Normally the Spanish government don't want or don't let the Catalan people do their normal life in Catalan with our language and our culture, but now the really question who I think that makes more people came to the independence side or part is that we have two economical problems.
Okay.
Now we pay a lot of taxes, but these taxes, the 50% of these taxes don't return to Catalonia. And it's for that a practical question, more people came to independence.
And do you think that after this recall of voting, after this prohibition of voting for the Catalan people, you think that the percentage for independence will go higher and higher?
I think
and
the
higher?
Spanish government, the Spanish tribunals and all that are doing the things very bad. When they say no, you cannot vote, you cannot be a democratic country, more people think that's not normal, that's not possible. We see last week or 2 weeks ago that in Scotland happens a normal thing. The people came to vote, and the result was no. That's democracy. Here we cannot do the same thing that happens here in Europe, and it's not normal for the people in Catalonia. And I think that makes the people came to the independent side.
Do you think that there is a connection between the decision of the Spanish Constitutional Tribunal and the result of voting in Scotland?
No, I think they don't write the newspapers, they don't see the TV.
Not so much interested.
They don't know what happens without Spain.
So they're
I think
totally cut from the reality.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
The Catalan people tend to be of an opinion that they are not depending on the rest of Spain economically. And it would be the major difference between the situation of Scotland and Catalonia. As we can see in the federal press, that is the main Spanish newspapers, the Spanish elites does not really know what to think about this turn of events. We have here several authors that concentrate on the illegitimacy of what the Catalan government is currently doing. We have also more rational voices, in my opinion. There are more rational voices that suggest that the Catalan people should be given some still broader autonomy to appease the emotions. Many Spanish journalists accuse the president of the Generalitat, Artur Mas, to excite the public emotions and to use these emotions and the popular protests as a weapon, in a psychological war against Madrid. In the same time, Barcelona is celebrating the 25 years of freedom from communism in Europe, and we can only presume if this is somehow connected to the creating of this popular pro-liberty spirit among Catalans, as it's very similar in case of all these informations about the Hong Kong protests against communism, which also dominates on the pages of Spanish newspapers. Some interesting articles were also written about the revolt of Spanish town halls, the ayuntamientos, in favor of the separatistic movements. By Spanish, of course I mean those in Catalonia. Some mayors support the efforts leading to the Catalan independence. Perhaps we are the witnesses of a new nation and also the new independent state emerging. We now can only fantasize if, for instance, the Spanish language will be banned from the position it has today. Maybe only Catalan language will be allowed as official language of future independent state of Catalonia. And maybe the Spanish authorities will give something, for instance, grant the people of Catalonia some broader autonomy. It seems that everything can happen.